At that time, he grabbed my phone, assaulted me.
Now you're blocking my way.
You're in my way.
Now you're blocking my way.
When I was a police officer, if somebody was assaulted, you have to have scenes of crime photos, you have to take a statement, and you have to actually actively look for the suspect. At no time did they ever take a statement off of me, a written statement.
Hey, this guy beat the shit out of me.
Who hit you?
I don't think he lives in here. I have it all on video. I'm live right now on Facebook, on YouTube.
Will he continue to reside in this building on the taxpayer dime? David Menzies for Rebel News here in downtown Toronto. And folks, I am with Jay Bannister of Mad Lab Press. And I am literally at the scene of the crime, a horrible assault and a theft that took place less than 24 hours ago. But before we get into our interview with Jay, I should tell you that this property, 65 Dundas East, it used to be the Bond Hotel, but recently the City of Toronto purchased this venue, and the hotel has been repurposed to, quote, respond to the urgent need for permanent affordable homes, end quote. As well, the city explains on its website, quote, the number of people actively experiencing homelessness in Toronto continues to grow. New homes with supports are urgently needed to ensure everyone has a warm, safe place to call home, end quote. That's an interesting choice of words, isn't it, folks? Safe. Because this was not a safe spot yesterday, not for Jay Bannister, even though there was a large presence of law enforcement here, even though there were also security guards that are on the city payroll. Take us back less than 24 hours ago. What happened?
So, David, I was in Toronto yesterday, and I drove down Dundas Street East, just past Dundas Square. I saw 4 ambulances out front of 65 Dundas here. There was a fire truck, and there was a large police presence of around 3 or 4 police officers, or cars. So I came out, I started filming on the sidewalk on the public spot, and the site supervisor here came out and told me not to film them.
Even though you're on a public sidewalk?
That's right, yeah. So I educated him, didn't seem to work. He goes back inside, and about 5 minutes later, a gentleman comes out. I shouldn't say gentleman. A guy comes out and confronts me about filming, telling me that the building is full of drug users and that I shouldn't be filming because there are drug users coming in and out of the building.
Well, I'm on a public sidewalk, so.
Yeah, you are in a public sidewalk, but I live here and I'm an addict.
Okay, but then you can create your own privacy, right? So wear your baseball hat down or wear a mask or something?
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to respect your wishes.
But you came up to my camera, right?
I educated him also. At that time, he grabbed my phone, assaulted me.
Now you're blocking my way.
You're in my way.
Now you're blocking my way.
I finally got my phone back. He goes back inside to speak to the site supervisor. A couple minutes later, he comes out and full on attacks me, kicks me in my face.
He kicked you in your face?
He kicked me in my face. I'm not sure if you can see here, but I had a very large goose egg here. Kicked me on the ground, punched me in my face, and he stole my Armani glasses and my Mad Lab baseball hat.
And you also told me off camera you had some very expensive Ray-Bans, which he smashed.
Yeah, they're called Ray-Ban Metas. They're about $600, and he just smashed them right in front of me. And then, as he was assaulting me, he pulled out a pretty large chunk of my hair, which is over here. And you'll be able to see it. It's on the ground out front, actually.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But here is the crux of the matter, Jay. While this is going on, you said there were 4 police cruisers here, at least 4 officers by my mathematics. They're presumably watching this. They've got a ringside seat. What are the cops doing?
Well, I approached one officer who was a sergeant, and he rolled his eyes at me, threw up his hands, and said, "Hey, buddy, I'm on a call." After I told him that I've been assaulted and basically robbed, it took him about 5 minutes to get out of his cruiser, and he approached me at the front of the building, and basically he didn't do anything for me.
Hey, this guy beat the shit me.
Who hit you?
I don't think he lives in here. I have it all on video. I'm live right now on Facebook, on YouTube. I have it all on video.
Can you give me a description?
He's weighs about 280 pounds. He's got a red sweatshirt on.
Black guy, white guy, brown guy?
White guy. He looks Aboriginal.
And what color sweatshirt?
It's like a faded red.
Faded red?
Yeah, he took off that way.
When I was a police officer, if somebody was assaulted, you have to have scenes of crime photos, you have to take a statement, and you have to actually actively look for the suspect. At no time did they ever take a statement off of me, a written statement. They didn't take professional photos of my injuries, and they didn't tell me anything else about the investigation. I was just left to go home. That was it. It's just not helpful whatsoever.
If people don't know about you and they don't know about Mad Lab Press, the Latin phrase springs to mind, qui custodiet ipsos custodes. That Latin phrase translates into who watches the watchers. And Jay, you are the watcher of the watchers. You know policing as much or even better than some of the cops on the beat because you spent 24 years as a cop and you have documented police officers behaving badly. You've told me they despise you for that. But I think that's irrelevant. If they see the law being broken, I mean, the slogan of the Toronto Police is to serve and protect. There's not an asterisk there. There's not a footnote saying we're only going to serve and protect those people we like, and for those people that we don't like, well, they can go fish. Is that really why they didn't do anything to prevent the assault, and why they were so lackadaisical when you're making your statement?
I believe that had a lot to do with it. The sergeant at the beginning, I don't think he knew who I was, but after he came inside with the other officers, I believe that they told him, and he changed his attitude quite drastically after he found out who I was. But at the same time, nothing was done for me, David. Like nothing. I was assaulted, and that was it. Like they didn't complete a full investigation, which they should have done.
Do you think if it was anyone else other than you, they would have changed their tune in terms of doing a proper formal investigation?
Oh, I believe the suspect would be in custody by now. That's what I think.
Incredible. And speaking of that suspect, do we have an update? Is he still at large?
I believe he's still at large, and he does live in the building. A tenant that lives on his floor told me that he lives on the 5th floor, and he possibly goes by the name of Jay. And that's all I know. But other than that, I've received no updates from the police whatsoever.
Are you contemplating a lawsuit in terms of the City of Toronto? This is their property. They hire security. The city employs the Toronto Police Service officers. What's the update on that, Jay?
I believe I'll be filing a lawsuit against the City of Toronto and also the Toronto Fire Department, because the Toronto Fire officer or Toronto firefighter actually blocked me from filming yesterday and bumped me because he told me he didn't want to be filmed.
You know, I'm sorry, that's not your problem. It's a public place. No one has the right to privacy. There's no expectation of that when you're out in public. These people should know better. And now a firefighter is getting handsy with you as well?
Well, I did some research, and the City of Toronto have an onus to protect the people that are in front of the building from the people that are housed in a co-op building. They have a duty of care, and they did not prevent the assault from happening, even though they saw it happening, and prior to that, they knew what was going to happen. In the front of the building, the cameras do not point where the assault happened, and they have to have the cameras out there, which they don't have.
For the last 19 months in this city, we have seen the pro-Hamas hooligans chanting genocide in the street. They shoot up Jewish schools. They create vandalism and violence. And the Toronto Police Service turns a blind eye. They don't do anything. Well, actually, that's not true. On cold days, they will deliver coffee and Timbits to the Hamas holes, as I like to call them. And there was a new sordid chapter to this just a few days ago, where they allowed these demonstrators to block an ambulance with an 8-year-old child that needed medical care. And not only that, The police lied about it. They lied about the timeline. They said the ambulance didn't have its lights on. We have video evidence to the contrary. The question is, what the hell is going on with policing in this city, Jay? Why is there this two-tier selective law enforcement ethos right now with the Toronto Police?
I have to blame Chief Myron Demkew. Myron Demkew, if you're watching this, you really have to clean up the city, clean up your act, and I truly believe he's one of the worst chiefs we've ever had in the city of Toronto.
You know, I echo that opinion, and given that Bill Blair was once a police chief, wow, that is saying something. I think it all comes from the top down. I think Mayor Chow, I think she's on Team Hamas. It seems that Hamas runs the police service here. Absolutely shocking, but you know what, Jay? We always believe in reaching out to get the other side of the story. Why don't we walk over to the door and speak to the person who's on watch detail and see what they have to say, because they could have helped you yesterday when one of their tenants acted like a gorilla against you, but they didn't do anything, did they?
No, they didn't. And in fact, I came back 2 hours later to speak to the site supervisor, and he made me wait 40 minutes outside in the rain while I watched him and filmed him inside, talking to people, laughing and joking around. And he knew I was outside waiting for 40 minutes. Eventually, he came out and handed me a slip of paper about that big that had the City of Toronto website on it.
Hey, how you doing?
So it took you 35 minutes to give me this? Wait, seriously?
Yeah,
No, but I asked for your name, so it's Abdel.
Yeah.
You're the site supervisor.
Let's walk around the corner and check it out. Yeah. As we're waiting, folks, thank God the Bond place, or whatever it's called now, they're all flagged up for Pride week, month, season, year, whatever. They got their priorities straight. Somebody with a hard hat and a vest. I don't know if he's a construction worker or if that's the uniform you have to wear, given the type of tenants they have here. And I can see here, well, this tells you everything, doesn't it, folks? Harm reduction locations. And there must be about 15 of them. And here is their official signage. I don't think the phrase "F-U Wolf" is part of that. That might be some freelancing by one of the tenants. Very grateful, aren't they, for being put up. Hello, sir. How you doing? I'm David Menzies with Rebel News, and I'm doing a story about this individual who was assaulted outside your building yesterday. Nobody with security or police helped him. Why is that?
I have no whereabouts about that.
You have no idea?
I have no idea.
Is the tenant who assaulted him, is he going to continue to reside here?
I don't know the tenant and I'm not aware. 'Cause
Well, we have a photo for you if you want.
it happened outside, so we are not aware about it.
Yeah, but he lives here, sir. And don't you have a zero tolerance for violence?
I have no idea.
Okay, then. Is there somebody in charge that we can speak with?
I can verify with the photo because most of the tenants, we know them.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Can I see the photo?
Jay, can you show the photo to this gentleman? Yeah. Yep. Do you recognize him, sir?
No, he doesn't live here.
live here.
Evidently he lives on the 5th floor, sir.
I don't know him.
You don't know him.
Yes.
Well, is there anyone in management that would... Hello there.
I don't know him. He doesn't live here.
Is there someone in charge that we can show this photo to? And
Because I'm a staff and I'm the only one who's here.
pardon me?
There's no one else who is here.
Oh, there's no one else.
Yes.
Okay, if we confirm that he lives here and he is eventually, we hope, going to be charged with assault and theft, will he continue to reside in this building on the taxpayer dime?
I don't know about that. Maybe it's
You
the
don't know about-
TPS which will decide that. I don't know.
So you have no problem with violent tenants residing on the taxpayer dime here?
We have that.
You have that?
Like he did it outside the building, so we don't know anything.
Well, yeah, right. Well, there you go, folks. He did the Sergeant Schultz, I know nothing, I saw nothing routine. And apparently if you do it outside the building, as in like a couple of feet outside the building, nothing to see here. Again, these are your tax dollars at work. Jay, you witnessed the interaction. What do you make of that? Do you think that guy was giving us a bill of goods saying he doesn't know anything, that he doesn't recognize the tenant, that he's not a tenant here? Does that add up to you?
No, I was told that he does live here by the Toronto Police, actually. They confirmed that he does live here. And this is the same reaction I got yesterday when I came back. They just completely ignore you, and they open the door about that much to speak to you. So it's kind of pointless trying to speak to anybody here.
It is pointless. And, you know, doesn't this speak volumes about the city of Toronto under Mayor Chow? You have a law-abiding citizen, an ex-copper, no less, gets beaten up, has his property vandalized, has some of his property stolen, and, well, a big collective shrug. And yet the people running this joint are running cover for a violent offender. It is absolutely shocking. Jay, last word goes to you.
I just hope that the guy gets arrested and dealt with, and I really want to know if he's going to be allowed to live here still after this assault. That's what I'm more concerned about.
100%. Well, Jay, good luck. No one deserves that. You were not breaking the law by filming in public, despite what people employed here and a certain firefighter had to say. So please keep us up to date with this case. And, you know, this is what I have to say to the Toronto Police Service. If you are a cop and you're in law enforcement, that means enforcing the law. But as we saw here yesterday, and as we've seen in the streets of Toronto for the last 19 months, it is selective law enforcement. It is unbelievable, unacceptable. Chief Demkew, I think you should resign. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. What could possibly go wrong having the city of Toronto run a hotel where very nefarious, very violent people are residing, and clearly they don't care? You know, that is very problematic in regard to what is happening in too many of our cities here in our great dominion these days. If you can, please go to fixourcities.com. That's fixourcities.com. Kindly sign the petition, and if you're able to, make a donation so that Rebel News can continue to bring you the other side of the story.